Most people think they already know the Philippines through its white sand beaches and tropical islands. But that's only a small part of the story. Hidden beyond the turquoise waters and world-famous resorts are 2,000-year-old rice terraces carved into mountainsides, an underground river flowing through the heart of a mountain, a lake born from an eruption that once altered the global climate, and breathtaking wonders that even many Filipinos have never seen with their own eyes. These are 20 extraordinary places that will make you see the Philippines in a completely different way. More than 2,000 years ago, while mighty empires were raising palaces and fortified cities, a small community living among the rugged mountains of northern Philippines chose a completely different path. Instead of conquering the land through war, they set out to conquer the mountains themselves. Layer by layer, they built the earth higher. Stone by stone, they placed each rock with care, until entire mountainsides were transformed into enormous terraces that flowed gracefully through the clouds. Most remarkable of all, this masterpiece has continued to feed generations of people for more than 2 millennia. Imagine standing in the mountains of Ifugao thousands of years ago. There were no paved roads, no electricity, no excavators, and no cranes. Only dense forests, steep mountain slopes, and relentless tropical rains surrounded the people who lived there. Each day began with the sound of tools striking stone, water trickling through narrow mountain channels, and villagers carrying basket after basket of soil up the slopes. No one knew how many years the work would take, but everyone believed that the next generation would continue where the last one had left off. Today, this extraordinary achievement is known as the Banaway Rice Terraces, located in Ifugao province within the Cordillera mountain range of northern Philippines. From a distance, the mountains appear wrapped in giant, sweeping curves that change color with every rice growing season. Often called the eighth wonder of the world, the terraces are admired not only for their breathtaking beauty, but also for the astonishing scale of a farming system built entirely by human hands. Each terrace is part of a vast interconnected network stretching across multiple mountains, creating one of the most impressive agricultural landscapes on Earth. What makes Banaue truly extraordinary is not just its size, but the reason it exists. Unlike many ancient civilizations blessed with fertile plains, the Ifugao people had only steep mountainsides. If they wanted to survive, they had to reshape the mountains into farmland. Yet carving the terraces was only the beginning. Their greater challenge was channeling water from the forests high above, so that it could flow through every terrace without washing the entire system away. They developed a remarkably sophisticated irrigation network powered entirely by gravity, an engineering achievement so resilient that it has sustained countless generations for thousands of years. Today, the Banaue Rice Terraces remain one of the Philippines' greatest cultural symbols and are recognized by UNESCO as part of the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras World Heritage Site. Despite growing challenges from climate change, urbanization, and the migration of younger generations away from farming, local communities continue to preserve the terraces as a living inheritance passed down from their ancestors and an enduring part of their identity. If Banaue proves that determination can transform towering mountains into a source of life for generations, our next destination reveals another kind of wonder, one shaped not by human hands, but by nature itself. Hidden deep beneath the earth for millions of years, it waited in silence until the day it was finally discovered. But what could cause an entire river to disappear underground instead of making its way to the sea like countless others? Why does this place contain enormous caverns with ceilings that soar like the vaults of a natural cathedral? And how can life thrive in a world where sunlight barely exists? The answer lies not in a single dramatic event, but in millions of years of nature's quiet craftsmanship. Hidden within Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park on the island of Palawan, the Puerto Princesa Underground River is one of the world's longest and most celebrated underground river systems. Instead of winding through forests or across open plains, the river silently flows through a vast labyrinth of limestone caverns before emptying into the West Philippine Sea. Towering chambers, spectacular stalactites suspended from the ceiling, and underground halls large enough to hold several buildings at once make this place feel less like a tourist destination and more like a forgotten world. Yet everything visitors see today represents only the final chapter of a story, millions of years in the making. Across countless rainy seasons and repeated changes in sea level, tiny droplets of water slowly seeped through cracks in the limestone. At first, they created little more than hairline fractures. Over time, those fractures widened into tunnels. The tunnels expanded into immense caves, and the river patiently continued carving its path through complete darkness. The massive rock formations were not shaped over centuries, but over millions of years as layer upon layer of minerals accumulated so gradually that the human eye could never perceive the change. Nature did not build this wonder through force, but through extraordinary persistence. Today, the Puerto Princesa Underground River is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and stands as one of the Philippines' greatest symbols of environmental conservation. To protect its fragile ecosystem from the pressures of tourism and the growing impacts of climate change, the number of visitors allowed inside each day is carefully limited. If this underground river is proof that time alone can quietly create an entire hidden world beneath the earth, then our next destination reveals that the ocean is capable of building wonders just as breathtaking. A vibrant underwater city where thousands of living creatures work together to create one of nature's greatest masterpieces. At sunrise, the ocean suddenly transforms into shades of blue that seem almost unreal. From the deck, enormous coral reefs begin to emerge beneath crystal clear water, as if the sea itself were covered in glass. But the real spectacle begins the moment you descend beneath the surface. Towering coral walls burst with color, while vast schools of tropical fish drift through the water like living clouds. With every meter you dive, an entirely new landscape unfolds, creating the sensation of exploring a sprawling city hidden beneath the sea. Yet Tubataha quickly reminds you that this is still nature's domain. Powerful ocean currents can shift without warning, carrying divers effortlessly along towering reef walls in just a matter of seconds. Then, emerging from the deep blue, the silhouette of a reef shark, a hammerhead, or a graceful manta ray may appear in complete silence before disappearing back into the open ocean. Nothing here follows a script. Every dive is different, and it is precisely that unpredictability that makes each encounter unforgettable. What makes Tuba Taha truly extraordinary is not only its breathtaking underwater beauty, but also the journey required to reach it. Because it lies so far from the mainland and is accessible only during a short window each year, the reefs have largely escaped the pressures of mass tourism. As a result, the marine ecosystem remains remarkably pristine, providing a sanctuary for hundreds of species of corals, reef fish, sea turtles, sharks, and seabirds. When you finally surface after a dive, you carry more than stunning photographs. You leave with the rare feeling that you've briefly visited a hidden world that very few people on Earth will ever witness firsthand. The diving season at Tuba Taha typically runs from March through June, when calm seas and exceptional underwater visibility create ideal conditions for exploration. Outside this brief season, rough waters and unpredictable weather force most expeditions to stop, helping protect both visitors and the fragile ecosystem that makes this marine sanctuary so extraordinary. If Tuba Taha challenges you with the vast distance between humanity and the ocean, our next destination begins back on land, where every step brings you closer to the remnants of one of the most powerful volcanic eruptions in modern history. Why does this lake shimmer in shades of turquoise that change with the seasons? How could an eruption powerful enough to influence the entire planet eventually produce such a peaceful landscape? And how did life return to a place once buried beneath scorching volcanic ash? The answers cannot be found within a few years, or even a few centuries, but in a natural cycle that has unfolded over millions of years. Located on the Philippine island of Luzon, Mount Pinatubo was once an almost forgotten volcano hidden beneath dense tropical forests. Today, where its majestic summit once stood, lies Lake Pinatubo, a brilliant turquoise crater lake nestled within an enormous volcanic caldera and surrounded by towering cliffs streaked with shades of gray, brown, and deep red. Seen from above, the lake resembles a precious gemstone set in an otherwise rugged landscape, creating a breathtaking contrast. Yet this tranquil beauty is merely the final chapter of a story that nature spent millions of years writing before it changed forever in one of the most violent volcanic eruptions of modern times. Far beneath the Earth's surface, molten rock continuously rose upward, only to be trapped beneath layers of solid stone. Over countless generations, the pressure built relentlessly until nothing could contain it any longer. When Mount Pinatubo erupted in 1991, it blasted away the mountain's summit, leaving behind a vast crater at its center. In the years that followed, rain, mist, and streams flowing down the surrounding slopes gradually filled the enormous basin. Year after year, the water level rose while dissolved minerals reflected sunlight in different ways, transforming a crater once buried beneath volcanic ash into the brilliant blue-green lake that exists today. If Mount Pinatubo proves that nature can transform devastation into breathtaking beauty, then our next destination raises an entirely different mystery. What happens when an entire landscape takes on a shape that scientists still cannot fully explain? The adventure begins in Tagbilaran city on the island of Bohol. From there, the road winds through quiet villages, emerald rice fields, and peaceful countryside that feels untouched by time. As you head farther inland, the scenery begins to change. Small, grassy hills appear beside the road, then multiply until they dominate the horizon. Finally, you reach the viewing area, where hundreds of steps lead upward. With every step, anticipation builds, because the true spectacle still lies just beyond the summit. Then you reach the top. Suddenly, the entire landscape unfolds before your eyes. More than 1,000 nearly identical cone-shaped hills ripple across the island as far as the eye can see, resembling an immense ocean whose waves were frozen in place millions of years ago. During the dry season, the grass covering the hills turns a rich chocolate brown, giving rise to the famous name Chocolate Hills. As a drone slowly climbs into the sky, the view becomes almost surreal. The hills appear so evenly arranged that they resemble a carefully designed model rather than a masterpiece sculpted entirely by nature. Yet the greatest fascination of Chocolate Hills lies not in what we know, but in what we still don't. Even today, scientists continue studying how more than 1,200 remarkably uniform hills came to occupy this single region of Bohol. The leading explanation points to ancient coral limestone that formed beneath a prehistoric sea before being lifted above the surface and slowly sculpted by millions of years of rainfall, erosion, and geological change. But science shares the landscape with legend. Local folklore tells of two giants who battled for days, hurling massive boulders at one another until exhaustion ended the fight, leaving the scattered hills behind. Another story speaks of a heartbroken giant whose endless tears hardened into the countless mounds that blanket the countryside. Though the two explanations could not be more different, both add another layer of wonder to an already extraordinary place. If Chocolate Hills leaves you amazed by a landscape shaped over millions of years above the earth, our next destination takes us closer to the water, where a hidden turquoise lagoon surrounded by lush mangrove forests awaits those willing to venture beyond the usual tourist trail. At the southernmost tip of Palawan, near the maritime border between the Philippines and Malaysia, the Balabac Islands appear like a chain of emerald jewels scattered across the deep blue sea. More than 30 islands are surrounded by powdery white beaches, crystal clear lagoons, and vibrant coral reefs teeming with marine life. Seen from above, the ocean shifts from brilliant turquoise to sapphire blue, and then into deep navy within just a few dozen meters, creating a breathtaking palette rarely found anywhere else on Earth. Yet this spectacular scenery is simply the final chapter of a geological and biological story that has been unfolding for millions of years. Across endless cycles of changing seas, tiny coral polyps tirelessly built vast limestone frameworks beneath the ocean floor. Generation after generation, coral colonies expanded, while waves gradually ground the shells of marine organisms into fine white sand that settled across the reefs. As sea levels changed, sections of the seabed slowly emerged above the surface to become islands. Even today, winds, tides, and currents continue to reshape the shorelines with every passing season. Nature has never truly finished its masterpiece. Instead, it continues refining it, allowing Balabac to evolve while preserving the rare sense of purity that defines these islands. What many visitors never realize is that Balabac is also home to some of the Philippines' rarest wildlife. On several islands lives the Philippine mouse deer, also known as the Philippine chevrotain, one of the smallest hoofed mammals on Earth, and an incredibly shy species found in only a handful of places. On moonless nights, another remarkable phenomenon sometimes transforms the surrounding waters. Millions of bioluminescent plankton illuminate the waves, causing the sea to sparkle, as though the stars themselves had fallen into the ocean. Combined with shifting sandbars that appear only when the tide retreats, every day in Balabac offers a landscape unlike the one before, as if nature were quietly staging a brand new performance each morning. If Balabac is proof of what the ocean and time can create together, then our next destination leads us to a river whose extraordinary color once convinced many people that it could exist only in myths and legends. Today, that remarkable place is known as the Enchanted River, or Hinatuan Enchanted River, located in Surigao del Sur province on the island of Mindanao. Although the river itself is relatively short, it has become famous around the world for its glowing turquoise waters and astonishing clarity. Surrounded by lush rainforest and towering limestone cliffs, it feels less like a river and more like a hidden lagoon concealed by nature. Yet its greatest allure lies not only in its beauty, but also in the generations of stories, traditions, and respect that have preserved its mystique. For centuries, local people never viewed the Enchanted River as something to conquer or exploit. Instead, they regarded it as a sacred part of their cultural identity, woven together with legends of guardian spirits protecting the water and mysterious creatures living beneath its surface. Ironically, those beliefs helped shield the river from human disturbance for generations. When modern cave divers and explorers finally began investigating the site, they discovered an intricate network of underwater caves and passages beneath the riverbed. Even today, however, the full extent of that submerged labyrinth remains unknown, leaving many of its secrets hidden in darkness. Today, the Enchanted River has become one of southern Philippines' most celebrated natural attractions. To preserve its crystal clear waters and delicate ecosystem, strict regulations govern swimming, diving, and visitor access. These conservation efforts ensure that the river retains the mysterious atmosphere that has inspired wonder for generations, allowing future visitors to experience the same sense of awe that has surrounded this place for centuries. If the Enchanted River reminds us that some mysteries are meant to be respected rather than completely understood, then our next destination reveals another extraordinary relationship, one where people and the vibrant life beneath the sea have learned to exist together in a world that is as fragile as it is breathtaking. As dawn slowly brightens the horizon, a small dive boat glides across the calm sea for nearly an hour before the silhouette of Balikasag Island emerges from the blue. After a final equipment check, you slip quietly into the water and begin your descent. With every meter you sink, the familiar world above fades away. Soon, the only sounds that remain are the gentle rhythm of your own breathing and the steady stream of bubbles rising toward the surface. Then comes the moment every diver has been waiting for. Stretching before you is Balakasag Wall, a massive coral-covered drop-off that plunges almost vertically into deep sapphire water. Vibrant, hard, and soft corals cling to the edge of the cliff, while thousands of tropical fish weave through the reef like shimmering ribbons beneath shafts of sunlight. Turn your head in another direction, and a graceful sea turtle may drift effortlessly past, seemingly unconcerned by your presence. For a few unforgettable moments, it feels as though you've crossed into an entirely different world, one where humans are merely quiet visitors. But the ocean always keeps a few surprises in reserve. Along the edge of Balakasag Wall, underwater currents can change in an instant, gently carrying divers beside the reef as though they were flying through open space. Out of the endless blue below, schools of tuna, barracuda, giant sea turtles, and on lucky days, reef sharks may suddenly appear before silently vanishing back into the depths. Nothing here is staged. Every encounter is a gift from nature, shaped by timing, conditions, and a little good fortune. The best time to dive at Balikasag is usually in the morning, when calm seas and exceptional visibility, often exceeding 30 meters, offer ideal conditions for exploration. Divers are encouraged to avoid touching the coral or chasing sea turtles, since even the smallest disturbance can affect this fragile underwater environment. If Balikasag takes you to the breathtaking boundary between sunlight and the deep ocean, our next destination leaves the open sea behind and ventures into calmer waters, where dense mangrove forests embrace a brilliant turquoise lagoon, and every winding channel reveals another hidden masterpiece of nature. Why is the water here so remarkably clear that you can see deep beneath the surface? How did an entire lagoon become enclosed by towering limestone cliffs and dense mangrove forests, as if nature had deliberately hidden it from the outside world? And what causes the water to transform through countless shades of blue within the same tranquil basin? The answers lie not in a single natural event, but in millions of years of geological change and ecological balance. Hidden on the island of Siargao in the Philippines, Sugba Lagoon appears like a brilliant turquoise jewel, embraced by towering limestone cliffs, draped in lush tropical vegetation. From above, the lagoon resembles a giant mirror reflecting the sky, while ribbons of color shift effortlessly from pale emerald to deep cobalt as the water grows deeper. There are no crashing waves or endless stretches of beach here. Instead, calm water is surrounded by mangrove forests and scattered limestone islets, creating the feeling of a sanctuary completely isolated from the rest of the world. Yet this peaceful beauty represents only the final chapter of a story that has been unfolding for millions of years. Today, Sugba Lagoon has become one of Siargao's most iconic natural attractions. Even so, tourism is carefully managed to help protect its delicate mangrove forests, crystal clear waters, and thriving marine ecosystem. As visitor numbers continue to grow and climate change places increasing pressure on coastal environments, preserving this remarkable sanctuary has become more important than ever. If Sugba Lagoon reveals how nature can patiently create a peaceful oasis between forest and sea over millions of years, then our next destination showcases water in a completely different form, thundering over layers of ancient rock to create one of the most spectacular waterfalls in the Philippines. Nearly 4 kilometers of powder soft white sand curve gracefully along water, so clear it resembles polished crystal. Beneath the midday sun, the sand reflects light so brilliantly that it seems almost luminous, while the sea transitions from pale turquoise near the shore to rich sapphire farther out. Seen from above, the coastline resembles a single elegant brushstroke painted across the tropical ocean. As evening approaches, the sky slowly transforms into shades of gold, orange, pink, and violet, creating one of Southeast Asia's most celebrated sunsets. A daily performance that never unfolds the same way twice. Yet Boracay is far more than a picture-perfect beach. That decision became one of Boracay's most remarkable stories. What makes this island truly memorable isn't only the beauty of White Beach, but its extraordinary recovery. Few world-famous destinations have been willing to pause tourism entirely to protect the very environment that made them famous. Strict environmental regulations governing construction, wastewater treatment, and coastal activities have helped restore the island's crystal clear waters and pristine beaches. Walk along White Beach at sunrise before the crowds arrive, and you'll discover a peaceful side of Boracay that many visitors never experience, a quiet reminder that even the most celebrated paradise can be given a second chance when people choose conservation over convenience. The best time to visit White Beach is between November and May, when calm seas, clear skies, and warm sunshine create ideal conditions for enjoying the island. To experience its true character, arrive early in the morning or remain after sunset, when the beach gradually returns to a slower, more tranquil rhythm, and the sounds of the waves once again become the loudest voice along the shore. If Boracay proves that even paradise can be reborn through responsible stewardship, then our next destination leaves the white sands behind and dives beneath the surface, where an extraordinary underwater world is quietly flourishing on a scale that few people will ever have the chance to witness firsthand. Why doesn't this waterfall follow the shortest route to the valley floor? Why does it stretch across hundreds of rocky steps instead of forming one dramatic plunge? And why does such an extraordinary place remain relatively unknown to international travelers, even though many Filipinos consider it one of the country's most spectacular waterfalls? The answers are hidden within the ancient geological history of the mountains that have nurtured this river for millions of years. Hidden deep within the lush forests of Davao Oriental on the island of Mindanao, Aliwagwag Falls appears like a ribbon of white silk winding through an endless sea of emerald green. With more than 100 cascading tiers and a total height exceeding 300 meters, it is regarded as one of the Philippines' most impressive multi-tiered waterfall systems. Rather than crashing downward in a single dramatic drop, the river gently flows from one rocky terrace to the next, creating a rhythm that is both powerful and graceful. Yet the breathtaking scene visible today is only the final chapter of a story that began long before humans ever discovered this place. What many visitors never realize is that the name Aliwagwag is believed to imitate the continuous sound of rushing water echoing through the forest as it tumbles over hundreds of rocky ledges. During the rainy season, the powerful flow merges many of the terraces into what appears to be a single roaring white river. In the dry months, however, the individual steps become far more visible, revealing the intricate natural architecture that took countless generations to create. No two visits are ever exactly alike because the waterfall is constantly changing with the rhythm of the seasons. Today, Aliwagwag Falls lies within the protected Aliwagwag Protected Landscape, where dense tropical rainforest, colorful birdlife, and countless native species continue to thrive alongside the cascading waters. This carefully protected ecosystem has allowed the area to retain the wild character that so many famous natural destinations have gradually lost. Here, the waterfall is more than a scenic attraction. It remains part of a living landscape where nature still follows its own timeless rhythm. If Aliwagwag demonstrates how flowing water can patiently sculpt an entire mountainside over millions of years, then our next destination reveals a completely different masterpiece. One where water doesn't tumble from towering cliffs, but quietly transforms an island into a breathtaking world of shimmering turquoise hidden within nature itself. Hidden within the lush tropical forests of Sikihor Island, Kambugahai Falls is a breathtaking series of cascading waterfalls connected by crystal clear turquoise pools. Unlike towering waterfalls that plunge into deep gorges, Kambugahai offers a gentler beauty. Water flows gracefully over smooth limestone terraces before settling into natural basins that seem almost impossibly transparent. Ancient trees lean over the water while hanging vines sway gently through the forest, giving the entire landscape the feeling of a secret garden forgotten by time. Yet this peaceful paradise is only the visible result of a story millions of years in the making. The story began beneath an ancient sea, where layers of limestone slowly accumulated over countless ages. As the island gradually rose above the ocean, rainwater, underground springs, and small streams patiently seeped through the porous rock. Over millions of years, these gentle flows carved natural terraces into the landscape. Mineral-rich water continuously polished the limestone while slowly widening each basin, creating the interconnected pools that define Kambugahai today. There was no single dramatic event that transformed this place. Instead, every curve, every terrace, and every shimmering pool was shaped by the quiet persistence of water and time. Nature never rushed. It simply never stopped. Today, Kambugahai Falls has become one of Sikihor's most iconic attractions. Even so, the surrounding forest and freshwater streams remain an essential part of the island's delicate ecosystem. Careful management of visitor numbers and ongoing efforts to protect water quality are helping preserve the fall's remarkable clarity, ensuring that future generations can experience the same sense of wonder. If Kambugahai Falls demonstrates how nature can create serenity through nothing more than water and time, then our next destination reveals an even grander masterpiece, an underwater world where the ocean itself has spent millions of years building one of the richest living ecosystems on Earth. Most expeditions begin in the coastal town of Sablayan on the island of Mindoro. From there, the journey continues across the open sea for several hours before the first outlines of coral reefs become visible beneath the crystal clear water. Cell phone signals disappear. Fishing boats become increasingly rare. the modern world quietly fades away. After a final equipment check, you slip beneath the surface. Within seconds, the world of humanity is replaced by an ocean overflowing with life. Then the true spectacle reveals itself. Beneath you lies Apo Reef, the largest atoll reef system in the Philippines and one of the largest coral reef systems in the world. Vast coral gardens stretch as far as visibility allows, glowing in brilliant shades of gold, crimson, violet, and emerald. Thousands of tropical fish weave effortlessly among massive coral formations, while shafts of sunlight penetrate the water, illuminating the reef like beams falling upon an underwater city. It's the kind of moment that instantly makes every hour spent crossing the ocean worthwhile. But Apo Reef never follows a script. The best time to explore Apo Reef is generally from late in the dry season through the beginning of summer, when calm seas and exceptional underwater visibility provide ideal diving conditions. Strict conservation regulations also limit certain activities, helping safeguard coral formations that have taken thousands of years to grow, and ensuring this underwater sanctuary remains vibrant for generations to come. If Apo Reef reminds us that the ocean's greatest treasures often lie far beyond the easiest paths, then our next destination takes us from the open sea into a landscape of towering limestone cliffs, hidden caves, and mirror-like waters. A place so secluded that it feels completely detached from the rest of the world. This is Sierra Madre, the longest mountain range in the Philippines, stretching along the eastern coast of Luzon like a vast natural fortress facing the Pacific Ocean. Dense forests blanket its rugged slopes, where rivers are born in deep valleys before winding toward the fertile plains below. Seen from the air, Sierra Madre resembles an endless green ocean extending for hundreds of kilometers, separated from the modern world by its sheer scale and wilderness. It is also the ancestral homeland of numerous indigenous communities whose cultures have remained deeply connected to these forests for generations. Yet this magnificent landscape is only the visible surface of a story millions of years. The story began tens of millions of years ago, when immense tectonic forces collided beneath the Earth's surface, lifting ancient seabeds into towering mountain ranges. Through countless rainy seasons and endless assaults from Pacific storms, rivers gradually carved deep valleys, while tropical forests spread across the rugged terrain. Over time, Sierra Madre evolved into a natural barrier capable of absorbing and weakening the destructive energy of many typhoons before they could sweep across the heart of Luzon. Nature did not construct this fortress overnight. It was shaped patiently through millions of years of geological change, relentless erosion, and the quiet resilience. Today, large sections of Sierra Madre are protected through national parks, conservation programs, and indigenous stewardship. Even so, balancing economic development with environmental preservation remains one of the country's greatest conservation challenges. Every forest that survives continues to safeguard not only extraordinary biodiversity, but also the communities, farms, and cities that lie in the mountain's protective shadow. If Sierra Madre proves that an entire mountain range can silently defend a nation, then our next destination reveals another masterpiece, shaped by patience, alone, a hidden, underground world where flowing water has spent millions of years carving magnificent caverns that sunlight rarely reaches. Seen from the sky, It resembles a brilliant strip of white sand floating on turquoise water, with two remarkably long sandbars extending from either end like elegant wings reaching into the sea. Surrounding the island are crystal-clear shallows, where the sandy bottom and colorful coral reefs remain visible beneath the surface. There are no towering mountains or sprawling luxury resorts here, only sea, sand, wind, and an endless horizon. Yet this breathtaking simplicity is merely the final chapter of a geological story millions of... Long before humans ever arrived, powerful ocean currents carried tiny grains of coral sand from nearby reefs and coastlines. Season after season, these particles settled in shallow waters, only to be swept away again before accumulating elsewhere. Gradually, the forces of wind, tides, and waves shaped the island into its distinctive form. Nature has never stopped refining its work. Every passing season subtly reshapes the shoreline, making Kalangaman not a finished landscape, but a living masterpiece that the ocean continues to sculpt day after day. What many visitors never realize is that Kalangaman's famous sandbars are anything but permanent. After powerful storms or shifts in the seasonal monsoon winds, their length and shape can change dramatically. At certain times of the year, sections of the sandbar may disappear beneath the sea, only to emerge once again months later. The surrounding waters are equally remarkable, providing a home for colorful tropical fish, sea stars, soft corals, and countless other marine. Thanks to the exceptional clarity of the water and its gentle depth, Kalangaman has become one of the finest snorkeling destinations in the Visayas, offering visitors the rare opportunity to explore vibrant marine life in conditions that seem almost... Today, Kalangaman Island is carefully managed to limit the number of daily visitors and protect its fragile coastal ecosystem. Conservation efforts focus on preserving the pristine sandbars, coral reefs, and surrounding marine habitats, ensuring that the island retains the untouched beauty that makes it so extraordinary. Here, every grain of sand is part of a landscape still being shaped by nature itself, a reminder that even the simplest scenery can be the product of millions of years of patient creation. If Kalangaman proves that the ocean can patiently build an island from nothing more than countless grains of sand, then our next destination reveals another extraordinary miracle of water, one that disappears beneath the earth to create a hidden world untouched by sunlight. Then, at last, the hidden paradise reveals itself. Towering limestone cliffs, draped in lush tropical vegetation, embrace an enormous lagoon of brilliant turquoise water. From above, Sohotan Cove looks like a secret world cut off from the rest of the ocean. Hidden caves, secluded lagoons, and winding channels weave together into one of the Philippines' most extraordinary natural labyrinths. Sunlight slips through the towering cliffs, reflecting across the crystal-clear water and filling the entire cove with an almost cinematic glow. It feels less like arriving at a tourist destination, and more like stepping into the setting of an epic adventure. Yet nature always keeps a few surprises hidden within Sohotan Cove. Depending on the tides, some caves can only be entered by small boat or kayak. At high tide, their entrances nearly disappear beneath the water, as though the sea itself is guarding the way inside. During certain months of the year, visitors may also have the rare opportunity to swim among thousands of harmless jellyfish drifting through the calm waters of the cove. Floating silently among these delicate creatures in water so clear it seems invisible is an experience that only a handful of places on Earth can offer. What makes Sohoton Cove truly unforgettable is not only its spectacular scenery, but the feeling of genuine discovery. Every bend in the waterway reveals another hidden lagoon, another limestone arch, or another cave waiting to be explored. You never know what lies beyond the next cliff, because reaching the cove requires a boat journey, navigating narrow passages, and timing your visit with the tides. Mass tourism has never overwhelmed this remarkable place. Here, nature still decides who may enter, when they may enter, and how much they are allowed to see. It is a rare reminder that some of the world's greatest wonders still demand patience rather than convenience. The best time to explore Sohoton Cove is during the dry season, when calm seas and exceptional water clarity reveal the landscape at its finest. Before entering the protected area, visitors are required to follow strict conservation guidelines, including avoiding contact with coral reefs, taking all waste back with them, and minimizing disturbance to the wildlife that calls this fragile ecosystem home. If Sohoton Cove leads you through hidden limestone labyrinths and secluded worlds tucked away within the sea, then our next destination will prove that some of nature's greatest masterpieces were shaped not by the ocean at all, but by the immense power of fire that once transformed an entire landscape. This is the Bangui Windmills, stretching along Bangui Bay in Ilocos Norte at the northern tip of the Philippines. Lined up for several kilometers beside the shoreline, towering white turbines face the vast waters of the South China Sea, creating a landscape that feels both futuristic and surprisingly harmonious with nature. As the wind rises, dozens of enormous blades rotate in perfect rhythm against a backdrop of blue skies and crashing waves. The scene resembles something from a science fiction film, yet every turbine stands exactly where nature made it most effective. What you see today is only the latest chapter in a story that began millions of years before the first wind farm. The story started as northern Luzon, and its surrounding seas were gradually shaped by powerful geological forces deep within the earth. Over millions of years, mountain ranges rose behind the coastline, while the open sea stretched endlessly to the west. Together, they unintentionally formed a natural wind corridor, funneling powerful ocean winds toward the land and accelerating them as they passed through the bay. Season after season, monsoon winds and Pacific weather systems reinforced this remarkable pattern, transforming Bangui into one of the most consistently windy locations. Long before humans recognized its potential, nature had already engineered the perfect place to harvest the invisible energy of the wind. What many visitors never realize is that when the Bangui wind farm began operating in 2005, it became the first commercial wind farm in Southeast Asia. Even more fascinating is the fact that these turbines were not installed because the scenery was beautiful. They stand here because decades of meteorological research identified Bangui Bay as one of the country's most reliable sources of wind energy. For generations, local communities viewed these relentless winds as an obstacle that damaged crops and made fishing more difficult. Today, the very same force has been transformed into clean electricity, supplying power to thousands of homes while reducing dependence on fossil fuels. What was once considered a hardship has become one of the region's greatest natural. Today, the Bangui windmills have become far more than an energy facility. They stand as a symbol of how human ingenuity can work alongside nature instead of attempting to overpower it. The turbines continue turning day and night, quietly converting an endless natural resource into sustainable energy, while the peaceful coastline below remains largely unchanged. Here, Technology does not replace the landscape, it complements it, demonstrating that progress and environmental stewardship can exist together. If the Bangui windmills show how humanity can transform the invisible power of the wind into clean energy, then our next destination reveals a force even more dramatic. One powerful enough to reshape an entire mountain and create a breathtaking natural wonder from a single cataclysmic. The journey begins along the winding mountain roads of North Cotabato on the island of Mindanao. After hours of driving through rugged landscapes and quiet villages, your destination remains completely hidden. The road ends at the edge of a deep valley, but the adventure has only just begun. Hundreds of stone steps descend through dense tropical forest, where the humid air grows cooler with every turn. The sound of flowing water becomes louder, yet the waterfall itself remains concealed behind thick curtains of trees, building anticipation with every step. Yet the greatest wonder only becomes apparent when you look more closely. Unlike nearly every other waterfall, the water at Asik does not plunge from the top of the cliff. Instead, it bursts directly from hundreds of tiny openings scattered across the rock face. For years, groundwater quietly travels through layers of porous limestone before emerging all at once, forming this breathtaking natural curtain. After periods of heavy rain, the underground springs surge with incredible force, transforming the cliff into a continuous wall of white water. During the drier months, the individual streams become more distinct, revealing the remarkable geological structure that nature has patiently crafted over countless generations. What makes Asik truly unforgettable is not only its extraordinary appearance, but the feeling that you have genuinely earned the experience. There are no cable cars and no paved roads leading directly to the base of the falls. To witness this hidden masterpiece, you must descend hundreds of steps and later climb every one of them on the way back. Ironically, that very challenge has protected the site from mass tourism. Standing before the immense curtain of water, many visitors feel as though they have uncovered a secret that nature reveals only to those willing to. The ideal time to visit Asik Falls is shortly after the rainy season, when the underground springs are at their strongest and the entire cliff is covered with brilliant streams of cascading water. Sturdy footwear with good grip is highly recommended, as the stairways and surrounding rocks remain damp and slippery throughout much of the year. If Asik rewards those willing to descend into a hidden rainforest valley, then our next destination will take us far beyond the shoreline, where an entirely different world awaits beneath the deep blue waters of the Philippine Sea. This is Jomalig Island, a small island in Quezon Province, off the eastern coast of Luzon in the Philippines. Reaching it requires a combination of long overland journeys followed by several hours aboard a passenger boat crossing the open waters of the Pacific Ocean. That very isolation has unintentionally preserved Jomalig as one of the country's least developed island destinations. Vast stretches of golden sand, graceful rows of agoho trees bending in the sea breeze, peaceful fishing villages, and crystal clear turquoise waters create a landscape that feels wonderfully disconnected. Yet, this tranquil paradise is only the final chapter of a story that began millions of years ago. Everything began deep beneath the ocean, where coral reefs slowly flourished while layers of marine sediment accumulated over countless generations. Ocean currents and relentless waves gradually carried sand and mineral-rich deposits toward the rising landmass. Over millions of years, these materials built the island little by little until Jomalig finally emerged above the sea. Powerful Pacific winds then continued sculpting its broad beaches, giving them the distinctive golden color that sets them apart from most shorelines in the Philippines. Nature shaped this island patiently, one grain of sand at a time, and its work is still on. What many visitors never realize is that Jomalig lies directly along the path of some of the strongest tropical cyclones in the Western Pacific. Each year, local communities face fierce winds and heavy seas, yet those very storms also help renew the island's coastline by depositing fresh sand and sediment along its beaches. It is a fascinating paradox. The force most often viewed as a threat also plays an essential role in preserving Jomalig's natural beauty. Its remoteness and demanding climate have slowed large-scale tourism, allowing the island to retain the peaceful atmosphere and untouched landscapes that have become increasingly rare. Today, only a small community calls Jomalig home, with many residents relying on fishing and coconut farming for their livelihood. After sunset, the island transforms once again. With almost no light pollution, the night sky reveals a breathtaking panorama of stars, and on clear evenings, the Milky Way stretches brilliantly across the heavens, offering one final reminder that some of the world's greatest treasures remain hidden simply because they are difficult. If Jomalig demonstrates how nature can quietly protect an island from the noise of the modern world, then our final destination reveals a wonder created not by the sea, but by the immense forces hidden deep beneath the Earth's surface. If this cave has existed for hundreds of thousands of years, why did people only find it relatively recently? Where do those brilliant shafts of sunlight come from beneath the Earth? How deep is the underground lagoon, and could unseen passages still extend beyond what has been explored? The more scientists and explorers learn about Hinagdanan Cave, the more they realize that its breathtaking beauty is merely the visible result of geological processes that began long before human history. This is Hinagdanan Cave, located on Panglao Island in Bohol, Philippines. The name Hinagdanan means with a staircase in the local language, referring to the stone steps that lead visitors down into the cavern. Inside, magnificent stalactites and stalagmites surround a tranquil turquoise lagoon, creating an atmosphere unlike anywhere else on the island. Natural openings in the limestone ceiling allow beams of sunlight to pour into the darkness, illuminating the water below with shimmering reflections that resemble liquid crystal. The silence, the cool air, and the mysterious glow combine to make the cave feel like a hidden world existing just beneath the surface. Yet everything visitors admire today is only the final chapter of a story millions of years. What most visitors never realize is that Hinagdanan Cave was not discovered during a scientific expedition. According to local tradition, it was found entirely by accident when a resident clearing nearby land noticed the ground suddenly collapse, revealing a natural entrance into the cavern below. Those same sinkholes now serve as skylights, allowing sunlight to illuminate the underground chamber throughout the day. Although the lagoon appears perfectly still, it is connected to the island's natural groundwater system. Seasonal rainfall and the continuous movement of fresh water beneath the limestone subtly change the clarity and character of the pool, making it a living geological system rather than a motionless body of water. Beyond its beauty, Hinagdanan Cave also provides habitat for small bat colonies and other creatures specially adapted to life in darkness. To preserve this fragile ecosystem, lighting and visitor activity are carefully managed, ensuring that both wildlife and the cave's delicate limestone formations remain protected for future generations. If Hinagdanan Cave shows how nature can create an entire hidden world beneath the earth, then our journey through the Philippines comes to an end with a deeper appreciation of a country whose greatest wonders are often the ones hidden just beyond the places most travelers ever think.